Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Gopi Jana Ballava Girivardhari Gopi Jana Ballava Girivardhari Yasodhanandan Braja Jana Jana Yasodhanandan Braja Jana Jana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Jaya Prabhu Jaya Prabhu Jaya Prabhu Jaya Prabhu Back Mahamsa Bhimacharya Thanai, a divine grace, Srila A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Goswami Maharaj, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Jai Vishnu Pad, Padmahamsa Bhimacharya Thanai, a divine grace, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Srila Gokishore Das Babaji Maharaj Ki Jai. Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur Ki Jai. Sri Guru Param Ki Jai. All glories to assembled devotee. All glory to assembled devotee. All glory to Shri Shri Guru and Guru Ranga. Go Premanand Haribo. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. All together, please. Om Jnana Timarandasya Ganandana Salakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobhistam Savitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yukta Padakamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavam Sha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagan Raghunatham Vitam Tam Sajivam Savetam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Deva Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakam Vitam He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dena Bandhu Jagatpate Gobesha Vigakanta Radhakanta Namostute Tapchakanshana Gorange Radhe Vrindavanishwari Rishabhanu Sudadevi Pranamami Hari Priye Panchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Devacha Patitanam Bhavnebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Sivasadi Gaura Bhaktavrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Hare. So reading from Bhagavad Gita, uh, translation Srila Prabhupada. Chapter 2, contents of Gita summarized, verse number 20. So, please repeat. Na kadachit. Oh, sorry. Jayate. Mriyate. Vakadachin. Na jayate mriyate vakadachin. Nayam bhutva bhavitavan bhuyaha. Ajo nitya shashvito yam parano. Nahanyate hanyamani sharire. Okay, go ahead. I am Bhutva Bhavita Nabuyaha. Ajo Nitya Shashvito Yamparan. Nahanyate Hanyamani Sarire. So please repeat word for word. Na, never. Jayate, takes birth. Mriyate, dies. Va, either. Kadachit, at any time, past, present, or future. Na, never. Ayam, this. Bhutva, having come into being. Bhavita, will come to be. Va, or. Na, not. Bhuyaha, or is again coming to be. Ajaha, unborn. Nityaha, eternal. Shashvataha, permanent. Ayam, this. Aranaha, the oldest. Na, never. Hanyate, is killed. Hanyamane, being killed. Sharire, the body. For the soul there is neither birth nor death at any time. He has not come into being, nor does come into being, and will not come into being. He is unborn, eternal, ever existing, and primeval. He is not slain when the body is slain. Prabhu, Srila Prabhupada. Sorry. Qualitatively, the small atomic fragmental part of the Supreme Spirit is one with the Supreme. He undergoes no changes like the body. Sometimes the soul is called the steady or kutastha. The body is subject to six transformations. It takes birth, it remains for some time, grows, produces some effects, gradually dwindles, and at last vanishes into oblivion. The soul, however, does not go through such changes. The soul is not born, but because he takes on a material body, the body takes its birth. But, sorry, the soul, hello, no talking during the class. Huh? The soul does not take birth here, and the soul does not die. Anything which has birth also has death. And because the soul has no birth, he therefore has no past, present, or future. He is eternal, ever existing, and primeval. That is, there is no trace in history of his coming into being. Under the impression of the body, we seek the history of birth, etc., of the soul. The soul does not at any time become old as the body does. The so called old man, therefore, feels himself to be the same spirit in his youth, childhood, or youth. The changes of the body do not affect the soul. The soul does not deteriorate like a tree, nor anything material. The soul has no byproduct either. The byproducts of the body, namely children, are also different individual souls, and owing to the body, they appear as children of a particular man. The body develops because of the soul's presence, but the soul has neither offshoots nor change. Therefore, the soul is free from the six changes of the body. In the Katha Upanishad 1 to 18, we also find a similar passage. Najayate mrite va ashtin. The meaning of the purport of the verse is the same as in the Bhagavad Gita. But here in the verse, there's one special word, chit, which means learned or with knowledge. The soul is full of knowledge or always with consciousness. Therefore, consciousness is the symptom of the soul. Even if one does not find the soul within the heart where he is situated, one can still understand the presence of the soul simply by the presence of the consciousness. Sometimes we do not find the sun in the sky owing to clouds, but for some reason, but the light of the sun is always there, and we are convinced that it is therefore daytime. As soon as there is a little light in the sky early in the morning, we can understand that the sun is in the sky. Similarly, there is some consciousness in all bodies, whether animal or man. We can understand the presence of the soul. This consciousness of the soul is, however, different from the consciousness of the Supreme, because because the Supreme Consciousness is all knowledge, past, present, and future. The consciousness of the individual soul is prone to be forgetful. When he is forgetful of his real nature, he obtains education and enlightenment from the superior lessons of Krishna. But Krishna is not like the forgetful soul. If so, Krishna's teachings of Bhagavad Gita would be useless. There are two kinds of soul, namely the minute spirit soul, Anuatma, and the super soul, Vibhuatma. This is also confirmed in Katha Upanishad 1 to 20. Both the super soul Paramatma and the atomic soul are situated on the same tree of the body, within the same heart of the living being. And only one who has become free from all material desires as well as lamentations can, by the grace of Supreme, understand the glories of the soul. The Krishna is the fountainhead of the Supersoul also, as it will be disclosed in the following chapters, and Arjuna is the atomic soul, forgetful of his real nature. Therefore, he requires to be enlightened by Krishna, or his bona fide representative, the spiritual master. Mukam Kuruchi Bhachalam Pangam Laite Yarki Katumam Bande Siguru Diridarinam Najayate Mrite Kadatim Nayam Bhut Bhabhavika Bhuyahi. Ajo Parano, Hanyate Hanyamane Sharire. For the soul there is neither birth nor death at any time. He has not come into being, does not come into being, will not come into being. He is unborn, eternal, ever existing, primeval. He is not slain when the body is slain. Yes. So, you're all experienced devotees, you all know I'm not the body, I'm eternal soul. So, of course, Krishna is making this very, 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 very clear. This is the first point of all spiritual life, if you like. We are not the body, we are the soul, right? So people can debate, is there God, is there not? Is God the source of everything? What is this? What is that? But focus on the living being, right? This is Krishna's first point. When he's educating, he's not talking up in the sky. He's saying, you, Arjuna, are not the body. He doesn't talk big fancy philosophy. Huh? He brings it down right to the point. Huh? Right to here and now. You're not the body, you're the soul. So, of course, that you are all devotees. Why? Because you know that, right? We are all realized to a certain extent, I'm not the body. So we can look back. I remember for last week, as I was remembering, when I got Prabhupada's Gita by mail order, I read it. And I'd read two other versions of the Bhagavad Gita beforehand, one by a scholar and one by other person. But I hadn't understood you're not the body. Now that's very interesting, is it not? Because I used to study Oriental philosophy. I had one professor, and he would give me books to read. So he gave me Bhagavad Gita, one of the books. He gave me all sorts of books. But so I got one by this academic Mascara or something. I think he's Spanish. And in the purport, in the introduction was the Gopal mantra, Sri Krishna Govinda, that was there. So I remember reading that, and he said the Hindus believe that if you chant this mantra, all your desires will be fulfilled. So I thought, oh, that sounds pretty good. So one time I was hitchhiking, and because I used to like to go camping at the weekend, go camping 2-3 days, go Friday, come back Sunday, and then go back to study on Monday. So it was Sunday night. I'll tell you this story. It's a pretty far out story. This was before I met Prabhupada or anything. And so I had read the first version of the Gita, Mashkara, or something like that. I think it was Portuguese or Spanish. He was trying to be a poetic translation. Anyway, in the introduction, there was the Kambija mantra. You know, Kambija, that is the seed of all desires. That's called the Kambija mantra. Kam, clean, clean. You should study that. You can get there, Gopal Tapani Upanishad. Study it very closely. It's very interesting. It explains the potency of Klim. You know that verse, Akama, Savakama, Muksha Kama, Udariyade, in Bhagavatam, is that if you have all material desire, no material desire, if you just want liberation, or if you just want bhakti, you should chant the Kam Bij mantra, actually. You should chant Hare Krishna. And it explains that in the Brahma Samhita, it says that if you're unmixed in attitude, that means you're materially covered, as Lord Brahma was at the beginning of it's in the purports of the Brahma Samhita. So he was covered by the desire to create the universe. He had that desire. He was a devotee, but he wanted to create a universe. So that is unmixed. It was unmixed. By unmixed, it's meant no desire other than to please the Supreme and his devotee. Spiritual desire. Anyway, so that verse is there. And so Lord Brahma, he was meditating on that mantra and he was getting the Shakti to create the universe. So anyway, I learned that in the introduction. It said the Hindus believe that if you chant this mantra, all your desires will be fulfilled. So I was coming back. It was late on Sunday. So college was on Monday. Study was on Monday morning. So you had to come back. But it was late at night, 9 o'clock, and it was dark. And I was on the top of the Pennines. England's got mountains down the middle. It's called the Pennine. And I'd been camping on this side, and I had to get over the Pennines to get to my place. And it's very awkward. All the roads go this way, that way, and you know. So I got dropped off on 9 o'clock on the top of the mountain. And I was thinking, oh, Krishna, I'm stuck. Because I'd been reading the Bhagavad Gita, so I thought, oh, Krishna. So then I remembered the Gopal Tapani Upanishad mantra. So I chanted it one time. What does that mantra go? Krishna, go. A car came immediately. I'm not kidding. There was no cars. It was 9 o'clock on top of the hills, you know, where they're just small mountain roads. And there was a roundabout. I was 20 yards from the roundabout, so any car that came could see me. But I was thinking, well, I'm just going to have to sleep in some gully, you know, under a tree, you know, it's damp on the top of a mountain. It's not like being in the forest. So I chanted it one time like that, and I was just trying to remember it. And then a car. I remember it was a green car, and it was a foreign car. Never saw that car before in my life. I'm trying to add mystery, and it's genuine mystery. I didn't know what that car was. It came round the roundabout, and it came and stopped immediately next to me. And there was a young man in there. Now, I'm not saying he's Krishna, but he stopped. He said, hello, where are you going? I said, Grantham, because I was staying at Grantham. Grantham means scripture. He said, yes, I'll drop you. Okay. Threw my bag in it, and he was the best driver I've ever known. Zoom, 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 right. You know, because, you know, you hitchhike, you have to look at the driver. Is it a madman? But it was a very good driver, and he came and he drove me right to the top of my street. And I said, oh, thank you so much. He said, yes, okay, see you again. Bye for now. He was gone. So now you tell me that mantra works or not, right? You're looking at living proof, right? I didn't even know it properly, but I'd remembered it, you know. Still had a memory in those days. I still can remember my own name now, I think. Yeah. Anyway, I remember the mantra and I said it once and it worked. The car came. I was not of unmixed attitude. I was of mixed attitude. I wanted a car so I could get home. So Krishna could fulfill the desire. But sometimes Krishna, you know, you hear, I'm not saying that, but sometimes you hear strange things in the Shastra. Because I did chant, what's that mantra that fulfills all desires? And I remembered it. Only one time I chanted it. So after that, I started chanting it every now and again. And it started to work. Shall I tell you another time? So I became a devotee, like, because I believe in Krishna, because the mantra worked. So I also got a Bhagavad Gita, by Prabhupada's Bhagavad Gita by mail order, and I was reading it and I was thinking, wow, like I say, I was understanding you're not the body, you're a spirit soul. Wow, that means I'm eternal, right? Now, this is really amazing. So I was thinking that this morning, I was taking a shower and I was thinking, yeah, how much have I actually realized, though, that I'm not the body? You understand? It's easy to say, I'm not the motorbike because I leave it beside. But the body follows me around all over the place. It convinces me all the time that you are the body and the body is necessary. But I was thinking that, I was showing it, and I was trying to have a shower and think that I'm not the body. So this is an important point, is it not? That we know the philosophy, we're not the body, but how much have we realized I'm not the body? When we look in the mirror, we think that's me. And then we think that person is not like me. He's not my friend. We have make friends and enemies, all based around this body. So, yes, we're all many devotees here, many devotees, many years. We have to, if we, if we can realize we're not the body, that is a great realization because that is liberation, right? So we're here to learn two things. One is detachment from matter. This is what we learn on Bhumandala, and attachment to spirit. Detachment from illusion, all the temporary things, the material body, the material conditioning, the material desires. I want to be Lord Brahma. I want to get a lift while I'm hitchhiking. I want to pass exams. All these illusory conception goals, we have to become free of it. And we become free when we have the root. I'm not the material body. And if we remember Jad Bharat, he had learned, oh, I took another birth because I was attached on the bodily platform. I was the son of Rishabdev, who is non-different from the Supreme Lord. I went to the forest and I was doing my bhajan, and then I became affectionate to a deer. So, but through his high spiritual consciousness, he could understand his mistake. And he maintained his consciousness even though he took birth as a deer. So this is all because we hear the body. Lord Rishabdev, Bharat Maharaj, the Navayogendras, all these great sages, they are different from the ordinary people because they know they're not the body, right? They're a class of personality, Uttama Adhikari, who is actually liberated. And it says in the Bhagavatam there, Muktir Hitavanyata Rupan Swarupena Avashtati, that mukti is to be situated in your spiritual body. Your spiritual body has manifest, just like the tree manifests from the seed. So your spiritual, and now you are situated within your eternal spiritual body. So that is the realization that we should examine. How much have I come to that? Do you see my point? Because it's great. And it's a great thing. We all get together and we discuss Bhagavad Gita. But the real thing is we want to realize I'm not the body. Right? And that is the step before Muktir Hitavan Yatar, awakening your Svarup, your spiritual body. So we should have a sense of endeavor. You know, there's Sambandha, Abhideya, Prayojan. Prayojan means the goal or necessity. It's what you want to achieve. So we should understand, yes, I want to achieve that. You understand? I want to achieve those realizations. I don't want to stay on this bodily platform. So anyway, I got Prabhupada's Gita and I read it later after I chanted the Kama Bij Gopal mantra. And so I read Prabhupada's Gita and I went down to the Mana, Bhaktivedanta Mana, to see Srila Prabhupada. And I was hitchhiking, of course. I used to never go on trains because everyone used to stop and pick me up. Maybe maybe you had an ugly face, they didn't pick you up. Anyway, so there I was, and I was at Radlett. Radlett is about 20 miles from Bhaktivedanta Mana. And I was stuck in the middle of the town and I couldn't get a lift. So then I just said, "Oh, Krishna, there's no love left in the world." A car stopped right opposite me. It was a young mother with a little baby in one of those car seats in the back. And she says to me, "Are you going to Bhaktivedanta Mana? I can see you have a Harinam Chada. Are you going to the Hare Krishnas?" I said, "Yes." She said, "I'll take you there." So there you are. So the message I want you to all understand is that Krishna consciousness is very good for hitchhiking. If you chant Hare Krishna and you chant Kama Bij mantra and you go, "Oh Krishna, there's no love left in the world," because you're a young man and it's the hippie days, right? Those were the days when it was love generation. Oh, there's all you need is love. And all the pop songs were about love and right. Maybe you don't know. Now the pop songs are about, "I'm walking down the street. I'm a killer in heat." You know, that's the kind of so-called music. But in those days, they had melody and the girl would sing and then there would be a nice sound. So in those days, there was music and the idea was that we should all live in love and harmony. So hitchhiking is good. If you're Krishna conscious, you're guaranteed it's cheaper than the. Anyway, so then I went to the manor, and guess who was in the manor who had just come before me? Prabhupada, yes. He came half an hour beforehand. And he was just having darshan. So Rohini Nandan, he was the Bhakti director. He said, "Put your bag there. Prabhupada's giving darshan." And I said, who's Prabhupada?" I didn't know who Prabhupada was. He said, "Just go up there, go upstairs." And there's a big darshan room upstairs, an old, pretty stately home. And I walked in, and Prabhupada was there, and I was there about 2 meters. And the room was packing up. And Prabhupada was looking at me. And then he would say hello to somebody, and then somebody, and Harikesh would play dandavats, and the room was packing full. And every now and again, Prabhupada would look at me. And I had the distinct feeling he was saying to me, "I'll tell you, seeing you're all devotees, where have you been? You should have been here long back. Where have you been?" as if I'd been, and I knew, I felt in my heart. I said, yeah, I've been kind of enjoying myself, Prabhupada, playing music and going here and there and studying and and Prabhupada then he told me, I want you to become a good devotee. That's what he said. That's what Prabhupada said to me. Okay. I'll keep chanting the Calm Bija mantra. So anyway, so these are important points. Now, the reason I bring them up, that we have to realize even the basic thing, because if we realize the basic thing, that we're not the body, then everything is free, is it not? Then, because that's the main, that's Krishna's first point. He doesn't talk big philosophy and this and that and the source of everything. No, he just, you, Arjuna, in front of me now, you're not the body. You realize that, right? Because that is the root of our illusion, and that is the root of our freedom. Do you see the point? It's the root of our illusion. I think I'm the body. I think I'm from this country. I'm male or female, young or old, and this. It's the root. And as long as I'm reinforcing that root in myself, that I am this material body, by thinking it in the morning as I brush my teeth, the way I talk to people, the way I don't like this person, the way all my likes and dislikes are resolved around this bodily concept. I'm reinforcing the illusion. And at the same time, I'm chanting Hare Krishna. So I'm driving my motorbike with the brake on. You understand? I'm so I was just reading last week Jagannananda Pandit. You know Jagannananda Pandit was have you read his book Prem Vaivarta? Everyone should read that book. Jagannananda Pandit is one of the great uh, devotees of Lord Chaitanya, and he had a very uh, it's hard to put the right word. A very yes, rasa with Mahaprabhu, where he would advise Mahaprabhu and Satyabhama, who is expanded from Radharani. Yes, you see, in Dwarka, Rukmini is expanded from Chandravali. Yes, so Chandravali is a bit like Vishaka. Vishaka, a very right-wing gopi. You understand? They they are very compliant. Yes, Krishna, very sweet, very very obliging, always positive. But left-wing gopi, Radharani is the boss of the left-wing gopis, and Lalita Shaki and Rupa Manjari, they are left-wing. Left-wing means that she doesn't necessarily agree with Krishna all the time. Because Prem has, this is in the books, Man, Pranaya, Rag, Anurag, Bhav, Maharbhav. There's different stages in Prem. So Man, it's called Man. It means in a mood. You understand? Not necessarily positive. Like your mother. If you remember, your mother was always getting in a mood with you, because that's man. It meant you put on a mood. No, 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 you don't talk to me. I'm too busy. So, so these emotions are there in the spiritual world to stir up the interaction, the Leela. It is not because Radharani is in a bad mood, but she is creating ecstasy. So there's man pranaya, follows some kind of witticism, and then rag means attachment, anurag, feelings that follow that attachment, then bhava means ecstasy, then mahabhav, and then prem, number 8, section of 8. So there's 8 sections to prem. It's in the Shastra. So Satyabhama is Radharani's left wing expansion in Dwarpa. So in Chaitanya Leela, she becomes Jagananda Pandit. And she has one book, Prem Vivata. Prem means transformations. Just like I'm trying to say in my limited way, there's different prem moods in Prem, and there's different rasas. You know, there's the parental mood, there's the loving mood, there's the friendly mood, then there's laughter, astonishment, chivalry. There's all these, this is the ocean of rasa. And so that is what we have to become absorbed in if we want to conquer the bodily platform. Do you understand? If we want to overcome this inbred feeling that I am this material body, which repeats in our conditioning time and time, and no matter how many times we've gone to Mangalarti, no matter how many 16 rounds we chant, we still think I'm the body. Then we have to transfer our consciousness to the Leela of Krishna. Therefore, it is in the, let me think. Have I got it here? Srimad Bhagavatam 10. '82. Here we are. Yes. 10:33:39. Anyone who faithfully hears or describes the Lord's playful affairs with the young gopis of Vrindavan will attain the Lord's pure devotional service. I'll say that again. Now, this is very important. Anyone who faithfully hears or describes the Lord's playful affairs with the young gopis of Vrindavan will attain the Lord's pure devotional service. So, yes, we're not the body, but we have to realize we're not the body by realizing the loving affairs of Radha and Krishna. Do you see my point? It's not enough just to think I'm not the body. To look when I'm brushing my teeth in the morning, to think I'm not the body. That's not going to, I've been doing that every day for 50 years, and I still think I'm the teeth. We still think we're the body. Even though every morning I've been brushing my teeth thinking, I'm not the body. I'm not, but it's still, I'm still thinking that. We have to use a different system than just negative reinforcement, if you like. I'm not the body. No. Then what am I? I am Jivera Swarupoi Nichera Krishnadas. I am the participant of the Leela of Krishna. That has to be my consciousness. And I have to follow in the footsteps. Mahajyena Katasvapantha. We've all heard this. That means that what are the Mahajans actually doing? What are the Mahajans, the great devotees? what they're actually devoting, they're actually always in the Leela of Krishna. Huh? They're not just thinking philosophy, I'm not the body, the three modes, reincarnation, karma, reaction, and so on. They're not just thinking that. They're thinking, oh, it's time for the evening Leela. Krishna has gone home. They've already had a meeting. They've decided that they're going to meet in this grove for bhajans and kirtan in an hour or two after evening. Krishna, the gopis have gone home. They're cooking there, and the setting is set. They're going to leave secretly and have Ras Leela in the middle of the night. This is how we conquer the bodily platform. So sometimes you may have heard, oh, you're not advanced enough. I remember hearing this when you were a child, right? It was a bit like that, especially we didn't have many books. I remember the Bhagavatam, the fourth canto just came out. I remember the green cover. I saw it downtown. We were doing kirtan. Somebody came to the kirtan party and they said, look, here's the fourth canto. So we didn't know much philosophy or anything. But the idea was, oh, the Ras Leela is very advanced. But yes, it's very advanced, but it's necessary. You have to become absorbed in the Leela, and then you go to the Leela. Like I say, we're learning not just to be detached from Maya, but we're learning to be attached to Krishna. And that means attached to his name, form, qualities, and pastimes. Now, this book, Jagadananda Pandit's Prem Vaivata, try and get a copy. Sarva Bhavana translated it. It goes through all the steps, rules, and regulations. But then the end of the book is just chapter after chapter glorifying the holy name. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. If you don't know much philosophy, then chant Hare Krishna. If you've if you've been making offenses, then just chant Hare Krishna. If you've been sinful in your past life, then just chant Hare Krishna. If you're not making progress, then just chant Hare Krishna. This is what Jagadananda Pandit says. He just says, no matter what your problem is, you keep chanting. And all your pop and all your thing, it will take you to the highest position. So this is basic stuff you've all heard, but we should keep it fresh. Because I was reading Jagadananda Pandit's book and I was thinking, yeah, sometimes we have so many things in the mind to do this and that. But the real business is to chant Hare Krishna. And that Hare Krishna mantra will take us from that, near platform to the highest level. And at the same time, combine chanting with hearing, Shravanam. Ujjwala Nilamani, another book by Rupa Goswami, Nectar of Instructions, the Leela. Prabhupada explains in the Nectar of, in the 10th, in Krishna book, he says, if you want to do the Leela of Krishna, you should read Krishna Bhavanamrita. You know that Ashtakala Leela, 8 times of the day. And you should be thinking now at this time of day, this is happening, this is happening. So actually I'm making one, trying to find some good programmer, and I want to make the Ashtakala Leela on a telephone, a summary, so that when it's the first time period, vibration on the phone. And then you look on your phone and it's the first Leela of Krishna. So then you remember that. And then a vibration, the second Leela, an hour or two later. You read that and you remember, oh, this is what's going on in Golok. And then go like that through the whole 3. So that's one thing I'm trying to do. But if we don't get that program today or tomorrow, we can study the books. But this is the important point. It's we should transfer from negative reinforcement, I'm not the body, to what am I? I am spirit soul. Huh? Okay, you're not the body. But knowing that will not get you to go loka. Huh? You have to become absorbed in the Leela. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So we'll finish on that point. Yes, Prabhu. He didn't put his hand up. He was just saying that was great. When I go hitchhiking, I'm going to use that mantra. Nobody was amazing. Now you can imagine, I was very surprised, right? I hadn't met Prabhupada, but I'd read that mantra in the introduction to a Bhagavad Gita translation, but it worked. Was I initiated? No. Had I done any of this, done any of this? But I remembered the mantra. I didn't have it with me, the book, and I chanted it in the middle of the night. Huh? Well, I don't know if I had any faith actually. I just thought, yeah, the Hindus believe, yeah, I'll try that. So after that, I had faith because I started chanting every now and again, even when I was with friends at college. This person's a bit funny. Oh, they've gone quiet now. That's the power of mantra. Yeah, go on. Yeah. Well, that's what I'm just saying to Prabhu. You know, he said you have unflinching faith. Well, it wasn't, to tell you the truth. I must have had some faith, but I was just thinking, yeah, why not? You know, I'm stuck in the middle of the night, no car in sight. Let me chant that mantra. And I just remembered it, and a car appeared. So after that, I had plenty of faith. Yes, Madhiji. Excuse me? Mantra. Yeah. Yeah, well, the mantra is non different from Krishna. I know there's different ways to interpret it. You know, uh, like I say, I I thought mantra, yeah, I'll chant that. But yes, you see, normally, like you've touched upon, mantras should be accepted from a bona fide guru in a formal way, after purification, after bathing, on an auspicious day, so on. All these things are there. So you can think of that as an external form. Like you should chant Hare Krishna after taking bath and so on and putting tilak. But you can chant Hare Krishna anytime. That's the real rule, right? Now, the other things can help, but the real rule is to chant Hare Krishna. Just like Ajamil, he chanted Narayan, huh? And he did it once. And that he did it in anxiety. That purified him. So yes, Krishna is definitely involved because now we know that Krishna is involved in everything, right? Everything rests upon Krishna. So Krishna was giving me a hint at that time. You know, he was answering. And the other time when I went, oh, Krishna, there's no love in the world. And then that lady drew up, parked the car right opposite me. You know, she trusting me, somebody should, the little baby in the back, very trusting, very loving mother. So I thought, okay. And then I went to the manor, and there was Prabhupada. And Prabhupada was looking at me like he was expecting me. Where have you been? Where have you been? I won't tell you where I'd been. Yeah, yes. Well, that you see, that's what you'll find in all the bhakti scriptures. That the ultimate principle is just to be sincere. But you follow rules and regulations vaidi, cleanliness, diet, and so on, and time, and all that. That they to help you. But the ultimate principle is Krishna's mercy, right? That's what Mataji is talking about. That if Krishna decides to give you mercy, he gives you mercy. It can come in this direction, that direction. It can just come in a dream. Everybody, or you're all devotees, you all have experience when Krishna gave, hey, that's right. Now I've got, yeah. And you just get that's called bhava. So Krishna comes as bhava to his devotee, instructs. Well, I was studying all the books, but I wasn't thinking coming to Krishna or anything. I was kind of happy, because I was studying yoga and I was doing all yoga exercises. This was before yoga was well known. I I used to get all the yoga books at the library. You could order books from the library and they would bring them. And I had all sorts of yoga books on meditation and exercises. And I was into long distance swimming also. So Krishna, you know, so I was kind of enjoying life, you understand? And Prabhupada looked at me like, where have you been? Stop trying to enjoy life, you fellow. Like chastising me, you understand? I knew what he meant. I knew what he meant. It was kind of because when you're 20, you're 21, 22, you know, you think, you everything's okay when you're 20. It's when you're 30, 40, 50, things start to get tough. So Krishna will give you mercy, but we have to desire it. That's it. Yeah, that's what I wanted. I needed a motor car to take me home instead of sleeping on the side of the road at 10 o'clock. So Krishna provided a motor car, took me right to my door. It's a pretty amazing story, right? Isn't it? I've only told it once or twice before, not in a class. It's amazing I could remember the mantra. Clean Krishna Govinda Gopijana Ballabhaya. Because I didn't know pronunciation. It's just like Rohini Nanda said, Prabhupada's upstairs. Who's Prabhupada? Who's Prabhupada? Go upstairs. Okay. There's Prabhupada looking at me like a great sage. And I'm just feeling, yeah, it's me. So do you understand now? So that we're doing Bhagavad Gita. We're not the body, but don't just think by negatively thinking, I'm not the body, that will be enough. This is the main point in today's class. We have to go to the positive. We have to remember the Leela of Krishna, and we have to become absorbed from the point of view of separation. I'm not the body. I am I'm not in the Leela, but Vipralamba Seva Bhav. I'm chanting Hare Krishna in a mood of separation. And Jagadananda Pandit, in his book, that's what he says. Just chant Hare Krishna, whether you're a papi, aparadi, you're a philosopher or no philosophy, man or woman, just chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Okay, we'll finish on that point. Yes. Huh? Sorry? Say again? Oh, yeah, go on.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna,